Across vast regions of Africa, the African savanna extends in open landscapes where the horizon remains clearly visible. This ecosystem is shaped by a consistent pattern: a dry season marked by limited water availability, followed by a rainy season that restores plant growth. These shifts define the rhythm of life, influencing how species move, feed, and survive. Grasses dominate the landscape, growing rapidly during periods of rainfall and drying out as conditions become harsher. This seasonal cycle supports large populations of herbivores, which depend on fresh vegetation for survival. Among the scattered trees, the baobab tree stands out for its ability to store water inside its trunk, allowing it to withstand extended dry periods. Nearby, the acacia tree has developed structural and chemical defenses, including sharp thorns and compounds that reduce grazing pressure. Some studies indicate that acacia trees can release airborne signals that trigger defensive responses in surrounding trees. Within this environment, large animals play a central role in shaping the ecosystem. The African elephant moves across the landscape, altering vegetation by pushing over trees and creating pathways that other species use. It also digs for water in dry ground, providing access to resources that would otherwise remain unavailable. These actions influence the distribution of plants and animals, demonstrating how a single species can affect an entire ecosystem. Elephants live in structured social groups, led by experienced females, and communicate using low-frequency vibrations that travel through the ground. The giraffe occupies a different ecological niche. Its height allows it to feed on leaves beyond the reach of most herbivores, reducing direct competition. Its cardiovascular system is adapted to maintain stable blood flow to the brain, despite the distance from the heart. With a wide field of view, giraffes can detect movement at long distances, and their behavior often provides indirect signals to other animals. As light levels decrease, predator activity increases. The lion operates within coordinated groups, using teamwork to isolate and capture prey. Hunting strategies rely on positioning, timing, and cooperation. In contrast, the cheetah depends on speed and precision. It accelerates rapidly, but can only sustain high speeds briefly due to energy constraints. The spotted hyena combines strength with social coordination, functioning as both a hunter and an opportunistic feeder. The presence of multiple predators contributes to population control and prevents any single species from dominating the system. Below the surface, smaller organisms maintain essential processes. Colonies of termite construct mounds that regulate internal temperature and airflow. These structures improve soil conditions and influence plant growth patterns. Species such as the pangolin depend on termites as a primary food source and rely on protective scales for defense. Seasonal movement is a defining feature of this environment. During the Great Migration, large numbers of animals, including zebras and wildebeest, travel across long distances in search of water and fresh vegetation. These movements follow established routes and are influenced by rainfall patterns. River crossings present significant risk, especially in areas inhabited by the Nile crocodile, which relies on ambush rather than pursuit. Group behavior plays a critical role in survival. Zebra and wildebeest move in coordinated herds that reduce individual vulnerability. Visual patterns, such as the stripes of zebras, can disrupt a predator's ability to focus on a single target. These species also rely on spatial memory and environmental cues to navigate seasonal routes. Interactions between species extend beyond competition. The oxpecker forms a relationship with large mammals by feeding on parasites found on their bodies. This interaction provides a direct benefit to both species. In some cases, the bird's behavior may also function as an early warning signal. Fire is another factor that shapes the landscape. Periodic burning removes old vegetation and returns nutrients to the soil, supporting new plant growth. In the African savanna, the presence or absence of fire can influence whether the environment remains grass-dominated or shifts toward denser tree cover. At night, a different set of adaptations becomes important. The aardvark searches for insects using its sense of smell and digging ability. Other nocturnal species rely on hearing rather than sight, allowing them to function effectively in low-light conditions. This separation between daytime and nighttime activity reduces competition and allows more efficient use of available resources. Water availability continues to determine patterns of life. During dry periods, animals concentrate around remaining water sources, increasing interaction between species and intensifying competition. These areas also attract predators, creating zones of heightened activity. Changes in rainfall patterns linked to climate change are already affecting the timing and distribution of these movements. Today, the savanna faces increasing pressure from human activity and environmental change. Habitat loss and shifting climate conditions are altering established systems. Conservation efforts led by organizations such as the World Wildlife Fund aim to preserve biodiversity and maintain ecological balance. The future of this ecosystem depends on how these pressures are managed and whether the processes that sustain it can continue to function under changing conditions.